It is now 4 o'clock.
Yes.
Ooh, yes. It works.
Yeah.
Today's Wednesday, September the 3rd, 4 p.m. Calling this meeting to order. I need a motion to approve the board minutes of August the 6th.
I'll make a motion to approve board minutes.
I'll second.
Okay, any questions about the minutes? Okay, all those in favor? Well, 3. Okay. Second of all, need a motion to approve the payment of claims.
I'll make a motion to approve the payment of claims.
Second.
Thank you. Any questions, comments? Okay. All those in favor of paying the claims? Great. The next regular meeting will be held on Wednesday, September 17th, 2025 at 4 p.m. in this room. Public comment. Do we have any public? Okay. Old business. Is there any old business to review? Okay. New business. Number A. Letter A. Approve Peru Sewage Works SRF disbursement request number 50 to Hazen and Sawyer, 6A.
Make a motion to approve attachment 6A as stated. Second.
Any comments? Questions? All those in favor? Pay. That's 3. It has been moved and seconded and accepted to pay. Hazen and Sawyer. B. Approve the proposal to replace the contract utility locating services with a full-time staff position. Attachment 6B.
I'll make a motion that we accept 6B as written.
Second motion.
So we discussed this on the August 6th meeting, I believe. By replacing the USIC contract with a full-time employee, financially for the future, it's going to net us ahead. Just this month, the August bill, we just got this yesterday, for USIC was $12,717 for 1 month of locating services. So now, again, they're more in the summertime, but when those even out, we're still looking at that $95,000, $96,000 range for the year, for this year. So what we've done is, our proposal is to add a full-time hourly union position with the union wages equivalent to what the locator would make over at the water wastewater. So there's no difference between the two, because the people that locate at water wastewater also do digs, and they do water management and catch basins, and they work at the wastewater plant, so they're a jack of all trades as well. So this position would be similar to that. They would also be doing some reporting, some inventory management, some mapping, equipment maintenance, groundsman duties, and we feel like this will make us more operationally efficient and save us money in the long term. Mike, do you have anything to add to that?
Do you anticipate this being an outside new employee or a transfer?
It could be a transfer. Like I said 2 meetings ago, that we'd like to see this as a kind of a sunset position, because line work is extremely hard and hard on the body. They put in a lot of hours, and this wouldn't be near as much as far as that goes. There is a caveat to that, though, and we have an old, outdated policy, a board-approved policy for an additional hourly amount for people that have the journeyman certification, and we'd like to kind of recreate that to keep our linemen, if a lineman wants this position, or we're gonna limit it to the electric department, hourly electric department. If a lineman wants to transition to another position in the line department, we need to keep them because they have so much experience, and they, especially with this, I mean, we don't have to train a person to get into a transformer, hook up to it, tone it, because there's a lot of safety involved in that, a lot of training involved in that. So we'll probably come to you in the next board meeting or one thereafter with a policy saying if you have a journeyman certification and we've trained you, we want to keep you, you'll get an additional $5 an hour, whatever we, Mike and I, decide is best. But it won't be a lineman wage. There'll still be a pay cut. They'll have to make a sacrifice like we are to.
But it might be in addition to these hourly.
Will be in addition to those hours. Yeah, yeah. But we'll budget for that as well. But again, with that, we're getting not just locating services. We're getting reporting. We're getting shop. We're getting maintenance. We're getting a part-time employee really out of it for whatever that amount is. Extra.
And in theory, hiring the person to replace that lineman would be at a lower rate than that lineman's currently making.
Correct.
So it would equal out.
Correct. And you would think, I mean, you know, in theory, again, by the time that lineman gets to that 4 years where the apprentice would be a full lineman at full pay, we're looking at in a retiree time somewhere in that area. So maybe it won't work that way all the time, but it will be within a few years of that.
Okay.
It's not gonna take a certified lineman offline, right?
If they wish it, yes. If that's what they want, yes.
At a
But it will
reduced
be
price?
it'll reduce hourly wage, yes.
If they choose.
So there are other companies
They
aren't
choose.
like, yeah, they choose. We would never force them to do that. Like RMC, they pay a lineman or two linemen full lineman wages to go locate telecom too, not just like because they have Broadway broadband. Full lineman wages, and good for them, but their rates are also
Higher.
25% higher than us or whatever it is. So we don't feel like that's what that job should be paid. You know what I mean? It's worth
Right.
that.
Right.
But the linemen, in the long term, their knowledge and their experience are worth extra than that 30.22 per hour.
No question. Okay.
So when are you gonna advertise that?
We haven't really talked about it. Sometime soon, though. I think we'd like to see the policy, the board policy for the experience, the line wage, lineman stepping down. We'd like to see that in place first.
Oh, you think a lineman would step down for it?
Possibly.
You don't know, you gotta be
We
ready.
just want to be ready, and we don't want to say, oh, and by the way, we're going to offer you the job, but you know what I mean? Like, but I got to get to the board first and talk to them about it and make sure it's okay. You know what I mean? So we want to be ready for that eventuality. Our meter technician, now he's nowhere, and hopefully will not leave anytime soon, nowhere near retirement. But this is also something that a line worker can transition into. It's just not as hard on the body. Now that's very technical, and there's still some training involved in that, even if you were a lineman. But still, we want to keep those linemen here as long as possible.
And you think that we would look at that guidance in the next meeting or two for a new policy as far as the
Yes.
supplement?
Yeah.
And are we under contract that we have to give them notice?
The
current
The
contract?
union, we've already given the union the job description. We like to do that before we go to the board. That way they're in agreement with this. They agree with the wage, and so it's just that.
What about the locating company we use currently?
We are under contract with them, but we've already informed them as of January 1 we're out, and they've accepted
And
that.
we're well within
Yeah,
that time.
you were talking about the locating. I thought you meant about the.
No,
union.
you're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Okay.
Okay, so let's have a vote. Approve the proposal to replace the contract utility locating services with a full-time staff position. 3.
Thank you. And anytime we can benefit the ratepayers and employment in this community,
Absolutely.
we have a
Just so
responsibility
win-win.
to do so.
Yeah.
Very true. Good point. Okay, 6C. Approve proposal to create an asset management plan for Grissom wastewater attachment 6C.
I'll make a motion to approve attachment 6C as stated.
I'll second it.
So a little background on this. In June, I believe, that's when the summer session of the legislature was in the state legislature, and they passed House Enrolled Act 1459. And basically it mandates, without giving us money to implement it, it requires water and wastewater utilities that are not under the umbrella of the IURC to have an asset management plan for every utility that they have. We have an asset management plan. It's required now for every utility we get IFA funds from. And so that's every utility we have, but Grissom wastewater at this point. So we need to have an asset management plan to comply to that HEA 1459. And that's what this proposal is. I don't know. I see both sides of why they want this, because a few bad actors spoils it for everybody. People that don't budget like we do, people that don't have capital plans like we do, people that, communities that can't afford large infrastructure upgrades and until the last minute, and so I see the value in this, but I also see where this has to be done every 4 years. So we have to pay every 4 years. Now, once we have a baseline, it'll be a little easier and cheaper, and we may look at doing it in-house ourselves, which I want to try, want to attempt. But we have to do it every 4 years, and the board has to have training every 4 years. However, they haven't given the GAO, the general order on this, to tell us what training you have to have, or we have to have, or the full compliance of what the asset management plan should have to be included with, and how you have to follow that asset management plan. So, but that's due out in October. Supposedly they were required in October to have that, so we'll get those requirements. So, and this needs to be done by January 1st. And the penalties for not doing this and not following the asset management plan, or having a good asset management plan and acting on that, are you get a warning, IURC takes over, and then they take over. You're back under IURC jurisdiction, and then they can what do they call it? Put you under receivership. That utility under receivership. So the only problem with all of this, the real problem is, not necessarily for us, but for smaller utilities, they can't afford to follow that asset management plan. So when that asset management plan isn't being followed, or you can't afford to follow that, then IURC can go in and require a rate study and require you to increase rates. So I guess you could just put it off on the IURC and the state if you really wanted to raise rates and didn't want to have the political liability of that. But so anyway, so that's where it is. Hopefully in October we'll get the rules for that, and what the training needs to be, whether it has to be in-house or we have to go somewhere for that training. But first we need the AMP. I guess that's all I have on that. Any questions?
Well, it will be interesting to know what we're expected to learn, and
What's the board supposed to learn out of this?
When they let us know, I'll let you know.
okay.
They have to October, I think it's October 8th. It kind of sticks in my head. They have to have the general order, administrative order, out by October 1st. October 1st.
And the fee for this is $58,000.
For the AMP, yes. Not to exceed $58,000. And that's about consistent with what we paid for the other ones. And we can use the other ones that we've had through the financing for this purpose. So we'll just have to go back every 4 years. We'll have to update the ones we've already had. So we're probably close on Grissom Water. I think we'll be close. Well, next year, we'll probably, by the end of the year, I think we'll have to do Grissom Water again.
Okay, moving along here, we'll go to,
Got a vote?
oh wait, I'm sorry.
Okay.
We'll have a motion, we have, second, now we're gonna vote. All those in favor? 3, 4. Okay. Then we'll go to the manager for his comments on the long-term control.
Thank you. We have received the counteroffer. We will have an executive session September 17th to discuss that. I'm open to whether we want to have that before or after the meeting. If we have to take action in the meeting, we need to have it before. So maybe we play that by ear, and maybe next week we'll make that determination. Dustin has been active with that, and we're gonna have more conversations later or tomorrow on that, what our next steps are. The drinking water and wastewater construction permit applications were submitted to IDM on August 13th. We're waiting to hear back. They've given us some comments on that, and we're responding. Our engineers are responding on those, on their comments so we can get approval on the construction permits. 90% draft of the project on the engineering has been completed. It's in internal discussions, internal review as we speak, and we'll give you an update on that shortly. An IFA, Indiana Financing Authority update on this. Throw some numbers out to you. I just want to stop me if I get confusing here. So the first financing for the plant project, we borrowed $25 million at 2%. That was the 2024 A bonds. We borrowed $15,750,000 2024 B bonds at market rate, and we also received a $2.5 million forgivable ban or grant through the state. That totaled $43,250,000. So that's what we have in the bank right now currently, minus what we spent on the project and engineering. The original proposed bonds were 2025 A series bonds for $25 million at 2%. And 2026 B bonds for $52,376,000 at market rate, which they estimated at 3.3% at the time. We've been in discussions with the IFA talking about where we were at on our rate study. So this was the PER cost and the rate study. What the rate study was based off the PER cost. That's what our rate is in 2028. The final increase in that January 2028. That's what our rate reflects. So as you know, we've talked, the original estimate for the large project, for the storage project, was $126 million. It came back down to that, I believe, $86 million. It worked it down to $86 million with getting rid of the pond, working through 2 different iterations of the storage facility here on this side. And we're still working down through that. $86 million is well above what we originally had in the rate, set out for the rate. So we've been really working with the IFA, and they've been great, by the way. They understand the needs here, and so they've come back with $25 million at 1%, market rate for $50,105,000, and an additional $6 million in a forgivable ban. So that's $8.5 million total in the project that we're going to get in grant money. Now the market rate, and part of the reason that we were like, hey, look, we understand that the rate's not 3.3% right now, and this is huge. There's a large difference in between a percent and a half at $50 million. A huge difference. So part of that the 1% for that 25 million is a little relief there, and a $6 million forgivable ban is part of that relief. So it sounds great, but we're still kind of in that gray area because we don't know exactly what the end cost is going to be. So just for reference, and this issuance, the A and B on this one is for 35 years. The first one was for 20 years. And so they kind of fold them in where we pay off that 20 years of the first two of that 43 million, and then increase payments on the 35-year bonds once we hit that for the next 15 or so, 15 to 18. And then so 25 million at 35 years at 2%, interest is $10,100,000. And estimated payment every 6 months is $530,000, so $1,060,000. At 1%, it's $4.9 million in interest over the term, which is only about $450,000 every 6 months, so $900,000. So that's a $5 million savings in interest alone. So if you take away even the $6 million grant, we're still getting a $5 million grant because their standard is 2%, and they're giving us 1% on the first 25 million. Now the bad part, the cloudy, the gray part of the silver lining is that 35 years at 52 million at 3.3% is 39, almost $40 million in interest. 35 years for $50 million at 4.5%, which is what a AAA municipal bond is going for at this moment, is 4.5%, is $50 million in interest. So it's almost $10 million more in interest at 1.2%. Every 1/10 of a percentage point is about $1 million in interest over the life of the loan if we go down. So that actually increases the 6-month payment about $188,000 to $200,000. Now this is Josh math. This is Josh MBA math. This is not financial advisor math. So there's some nuances in there, up and down, I think, but I'm in the middle. I'm very confident I'm in the middle. So we're still a little above what our rate at 4.5%, what our rate will support. However, overall, the rate study, the PER was based off 120,626,000. What we have available now, according to their award, is 124,355,000. So we have a little more available, and if we back that down a little bit, at this point we're close. We're in that area, a little bit over or a little bit under. Now there's contingencies built into this project. There's contingencies built into the wastewater plant project. So we've got some of that left in there, and we don't feel like we're going to spend all of that 43 million on that project and in the engineering. So there's some fudge in there. But I just want to keep you up to date. This is great news for us. Another $6 million, and at 1% is huge. And if we can get that to come down, we can get the rates down to 4%. I think we're going to be in really good shape, and we can get the cost of the project down a few more $1 million. I think we're going to be in really good shape, and I don't think we're going to have to go back to our ratepayers. And that has been the goal since day one, with all the curveballs and all the stuff that we've dealt with. So, any questions on that?
Where did the 3.3 number come from in the projections?
Well, that's what Baker Tilly based it at, the market rate at the time.
Really?
Yeah. So that was at 23, 22, 23.
Right. So your target would be 4 or below.
Yes.
By when?
We need to close by anticipated closing is April 8th, so we need to have the land and permit secured by March 18th. So yeah, by April 8th, I'd like to, hopefully, if we're down in the 4 range, I think we're in a lot better shape.
Well, it appears that time's on our side,
Yeah.
and the rates are going our direction. And I don't think that it's outside the realm of possibility that we could get to there by then.
Yeah.
Which would be really good news for us.
And if
September 16th is the Fed meeting?
Yeah.
Well,
Then they'll have one more before then,
Yeah,
2
I'd
more
say-
before then.
yeah, by April, there'll be more than one.
Well, right, but I mean,
You hope that
Everybody anticipates that by September, there'll be at least a little bit, and then we'll, maybe a couple more after, so that's why I say I don't think it's outside the realm of possibility that we'll get there.
So
I don't think we'll get to 3.3.
man, I don't either.
That's kind of a
That's huge, but
milestone.
that's huge. I mean, that's huge. I mean, with the 6 million and back to 3.3, I mean, that's huge. That's us getting the project done and giving money back. I mean, that's the dream, right? Now, the reality may be different, but
Yeah, usually putting the project off or having more time is to a disadvantage. However, right now with the rates the way they are and where we think they're heading, I think time could be on our side.
I agree.
But if we gotta close in April, obviously, one of the things I've got to talk to is proceeding with that eminent domain proceeding, so.
We'll have that discussion.
Yep.
I think we're all of the same mind there.
Okay.
So that's all I have for the long-term control plan.
Sure sounds good. Okay, city administration update. That would be Mr. Stevenson. Don't have anything? Well, still nice to see. City attorney,
Like Josh mentioned, working on getting the eminent domain condemnation proceeding started going, not to the point of ready to file yet, but we're gonna have an executive session to kind of talk. We heard back from the property owner and an offer he had, so we'll discuss whether or not you guys wanna make a counter offer or what needs to go, but not in a public meeting.
Yeah, you want to do that in executive session?
It's gotta be.
did you say when the executive session was gonna be?
Next meeting.
Next meeting.
We don't have to do it
Before.
before or after, yeah.
Yeah, we'll kind of,
Oh, we have to do it before because we have to vote on it?
if you have to make a decision, yeah, we'll have to do it before. Plan on 3:30, but if we haven't
Okay,
had any more correspondence with the landowner by then we can do that.
Did we decide that that vote could be held right here with this board and it doesn't have to go to the city council?
So, yes, in looking at the uniform offer that was submitted, it was submitted, for the city of Peru by Peru Utilities. I mean, the utilities can own and acquire real property in its own name. Not all of it's in, I mean, there are lots and areas owned by Peru Utilities, but then there's, I believe, utilities building is actually city of Peru.
Yeah, that's how they recorded it.
Yeah, and again, yeah, it's all about recording, because I'm assuming it was recorded back before it had its own utility service board. But regardless, I mean, the public utility has the right to proceed.
the right to what?
Proceed with eminent domain. I mean, because if we got to go through the board and also the council, just
Yeah, that's my
time.
point. Yeah.
You know,
Now, will he be with us when we are executive?
Yes.
Okay. Very good. Cut that down, 3:45,
3:30.
3:30, okay.
I thought that's what you said, right?
Yeah. Unless you don't think we can do it, and I think half an hour is probably.
Okay. The manager's report,
Thank you. Just really have one thing, so they've been continuing the encode migration and the upgrade, which is essentially a new system. It's been pretty difficult. Some of the back-end programming from Encode Tyler Technologies hasn't really matched up with how the data has come over, so they've really been fighting the process. We've been fighting the process, trying to make it go smoothly. The clean version, do you have a clean version?
We are getting there, but we're not there yet.
is this,
We have a lot of work to do.
is this where you're trying to get together with the city hall?
No,
No,
no, this is just the billing and
financial.
the financial side. Now, the financial side have already been moved over had already been moved over previously, like 2 months before. They're still working through that on the back end, on the programming side, spending hours and days on the phone with Encode, and this whole migration has been extremely tough. And now on the billing side, so now the customers are seeing the bills, and again, we feel like those are correct, but with the programming issues on the back end, there may be, I know there were a few bills that the disconnect notice didn't go on it, so we can't technically disconnect anyone without notice. So those people, they get a reprieve and give them extra time, so.
And then, and if you get any questions, the bills, there has been a couple cycles that have gone late. But we're adjusting our dates so that we're not giving the customers, fees and stuff because they're late. Because we're just we'll fall in line with the order of the way, the time frame.
I don't know how you could possibly track that. With the number of customers.
It's been
It
difficult.
goes by cycle, so.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, so, but it has been difficult, but man, they're champions up there, and they're taking it on the chin and standing tall, so kudos to them. But again, we're probably a month or two away from being remotely smooth, and then a year or two away from everything on the back end getting back to where the old system was for them. But
My bill is printed correctly, I think, but
just
it
this
arrived
last week.
very late.
yeah,
So I call up, girls are nice to me that, so otherwise I wouldn't know.
I just cross my fingers and hope it's not coming at all.
right? You know, when you're on the
Because you
pay.
don't get a bill, doesn't mean you don't owe it. Sorry.
Darn it. Yeah, luck on that one.
That's all I have, Mary.
Okay, thank you. Well, does anyone have anything else to say?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna ask for an adjournment with this brand spanking new hammer.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?